Minasan, okarei nasai. Today we have the original leader of Love Live, and who I think is the very definition of One-chan, Emi Nitta, born December 10th, 1985 in Nagano City within the Nagano Prefecture, formerly of S-Sync Agency and currently with Difference. Great agency name. Not really though. Emi graduated from Nagano Prefecture's Shinonoi High School, where she was engaged in many different band activities with her friends. I have seen a few different sources say where she went to university, but only one gave a real name, that being Senzoku Gakuen University, which if true means that she went to the same school as Kanan Shizaki. That's pretty cool. In March of 2009, she began her voice acting career after passing an audition held by S-Inc. Her first voiceover work would be when she joined the Love Live franchise as Honoka Kosaka, the main character of the franchise and the leader of Muse. And of course, she did live action performances with them as well and their subunit Printemps. I'd definitely recommend their song Snow Halation. It may be a generic thing to say, but that song is Emi Nitta. She made her anime voice acting debut in the next year as Malga Naruse in Horizon in the Middle of Nowhere. Then in 2013, Love Live School Idol Project began their anime adaptation, and she would reprise her role in the second season and movie within the following years. This year she got herself another lead, that being Rika Morizono in Dakapo 3, also singing the third ending song. And instead of waiting till the 2021 part, I'll just mention it now, but yeah, 8 years after voicing the character, she portrayed Rika again in a stage play last year. But back in 2013, she also voiced Elsa Crucial in I Couldn't Become a Hero, so I reluctantly decided to get a job. In 2014, she had her major debut as a singer with the release of her first single, It Begins With a Smile and a Smile. She also had her first stage play, that being Phantasy Star 2 Online, playing one of the leads and co-starring with a future Aqua member, Arisa Komiya. That year, she also voiced Tokoha Anjo in Cardfight Vanguard G, a role she would later step down from, but she did sing the second ending theme as well, that being her third single, Next Phase. Unfortunately, she was diagnosed with vocal cord polyps, a condition that causes pain in her throat whenever she sings. Despite that, she continued making appearances and performed during Muse's upcoming live, as well as the TV variety show Arno Hosoku. On top of all of this, she was Miyako Mima in Loco Doll. Nice. 2015, a vocal strain was very noticeable during some of her performances, so her agency had to cancel all further appearances until the end of March. This was for her to recover. She expressed her regrets and asked for her fans not to worry on Twitter, stating that she will be back after going to get her power up. That's some primetime anime shit right there. She took a 2-week break from both her work and Twitter from March 21st to April 3rd. After that, she announced she made a full recovery. However, to rewind just a tiny bit, right before the vocal strain, she had 2 singles come out, Quest Dreaming and Next Phase, which were released simultaneously. Next Phase was the opening for Cardfight, like I already mentioned, and Quest Dreaming, well, I'll mention that anime in a few seconds. But first, in October, her first album, E-Music, was released. This year, she also joined the Tante Opera Milky Holmes franchise as a new main member, voicing Marine Amagi, placing her alongside other Love Live voice actresses Nanjo, Tokui, and Momori. She also sang its ending theme, Quest Dreaming, and she voiced Saiko Fukuzawa in Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches, a fun romance show, and also Akari Komoto in a show called Actually, I Am. A weird, stupid name, but there is a lot of talent in that one of which being another fellow Muse lady, Ai Uchida. Really eventful year for her, and to top it off, she won the vocal award with Muse at the 9th Seiyu Awards. Well, if you're a fan of Emi, then you know what's coming next in 2016. The magazine Weekly Asahi Gaino ran an article accusing Emi of appearing in an adult video prior to her voice acting debut, due to the similarities in looks and the placement of certain moles between Emi and the AV actress in question. In response, S-Sync published a statement denying Nitta's involvement, and Emi's Nico Nico broadcast was postponed for a while. Before I continue, I just want to put in my 2 cents here. It really doesn't matter whether you believe it's her or not, or whether it even was her or not. It shouldn't matter, it shouldn't change your opinion of her, and you should still support her. What people have decided to do with their life really shouldn't matter as long as they are a good person, and Emi is a good person, so keep supporting. On a less scandalous note, that same year, she released her 4th single, Meiyaku no Kanata, the ending for Luck and Logic, and she voiced Silva in Phantasy Star Online 2, the anime version. Starting in 2017, she changed agencies to her current one, and she started to do a stage play of the Legally Blonde franchise, playing Vivian Kensington, which she did for about 2 years. That same year in April, her 5th single, Rocket Heart, was released. And wow, can we just admire this cover of her? Wow. In December, fellow Muse member Pao had a concert titled Pao Live at the Budokan featuring Love Live, and Emi made an appearance as a guest performer. As for anime, only one role of Misaki in 18IF, also singing the 9th ending. She had her best of album as well, Trace of E-Music. In 2018, she released her second full album titled E-Music 32 Meets You, which is a nod at her being 32 at the time. She was Sweet Pea in Caligula and co-starred with Aqua member Ai Hata in a short-form series Okojo and Yamane, voicing Okojo. The only thing to mention in 2019 was the release of her first and so far only photo book, Air. In 2020, her sixth single, Sing Ring, came out. She had the role of Mahiru in Princess Connect and sang the opening for a Chinese anime called Arad. In 2021, she voiced Tsumugi in a short-form series called Yoru no Kuni and sang the opening for the Azure Lane spin-off. 2022, she had a new role, a lead in fact, of Seruna Akesaka in Irodori Midori, and had herself a first mini-album titled Tiny Steps, also releasing a music video for the song Barefoot Symphony, which will be on the album. She had a fan meet in April, a live show in August, appeared on Masayoshi and Airi's Annie song cover show singing Paradise Lost by Minori Chihara, which is the opening for Ga-Rei Zero, and she will have a calendar book next year. I am weak to those twin tails. She has also done a lot of live action dubbing, movies and series from all over the world, including Korea, Italy, Ireland, America, and Canada, though you've probably never heard of any of these titles. Aside from this, Emi has also voiced in many video games, but again, nothing really of note here apart from maybe Fairy Fencer and the obvious Love Live and Caligula. Concerts would include many solo lives over the years since 2015, averaging 2 or 3 each year aside from 2020. With Muse, she was at every one of their lives and the Love Live Fest in 2020, appearing with them at many festivals like Animax and Anisama from 2012 to 2015. Also being a solo act sometimes too. Shoutouts to her performing with Ayako Ohashi in 2015. Since Muse's disbandment, she has been in Animax alone and many other smaller festas as well. She is still a very active singer and I don't see her stopping anytime soon. So now let's move on to the fun facts. She is 153 centimeters or 5 foot even. She has a Twitter and she is on the gram. According to her official profile on her music website, Emi's hobbies are playing piano, visiting different cafes, karaoke, and researching about dinosaurs. She currently holds a level 3 certification for the Japanese dinosaur test, and you can find her posting about dinos a lot on her Twitter. She really likes them. She also loves eating curry, and apparently she does laundry to relieve stress that comes from work. I guess folding things is very satisfying, but damn, she's gonna be a great wife to some lucky fellow. Well, if she isn't already. Despite being known for her arm strength, she is forbidden by her agency to be video recorded in any form of arm wrestling matches, having been told she looks too imposing while being engaged in such matches. But I guess over the past few years her agency lets her show off a little bit, but only for her fan club. Her fan club is Emi Ring, by the way. Apparently she also really likes to arm wrestle with her younger sister. Speaking of her sister, Emi is the eldest of 4 siblings, though she is shorter than her 2 younger sisters and her younger brother. Nitta-san was part of 3 different information programs back with her time in Muse. One being a solo show, Emitsun Fight Club, where she had 9 episodes and usually had guests. The next being a Love Live Hour Nozo Hono Variety Box, co-hosting with Aina Kusuda. And the last being extracurricular activities Koto Hono Maki, co-hosting with Aya Uchida and Pyle. With this one, they usually went out and did fun activities, as the name would suggest. She is for sure very close to older Muse girls, but I'd say Uchi and Kusun the most, likely due to them all debuting with Love Live. Her father is of course a big fan of hers, but his favorite member of Muse is actually Sohar Tokui, who is the seiyuu for Nico, and I'm sure we all know why he likes her. She would always make sure to wear Muse t-shirts whenever she attended rehearsals for lives, to be somewhat of a protective charm, as well as a way of showing that she supports the franchise herself. The song Magic Hour from the anime Kobato is one of her favorites to sing on karaoke. And finally, after Muse had their final Love Live, Emi stopped using the Twitter account that she had been using since 2011. But a few months later she created a new one, which she has been using ever since. This was most likely to signify a new chapter in her life. The Japanese tend to do stuff like this a lot. But with that, we have reached the ending. As always, I had a great time doing research for this one. Me being a massive Aqua fanboy and someone who didn't get into Love Live until after Muse had retired, I really enjoyed learning more about her. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed and learned something new. Please join me in the next one, about a Nijigasaki member with a bit of a cat obsession. I look forward to seeing you there.